I'm going to start a YouTube channel. I'm going to start a podcast. I'm going to start showing jujitsu videos. And in a month, I'm going to be Chewy. Like it's
Oh
just,
yeah.
and like, and then they don't realize that you sucked for a long time before you got good. You were a white belt and everything before you became a black belt. But what you do is you're not afraid to try things and pivot. And I think that's the biggest thing is where when it ties a lot back to like the Marine who came in or the military guy that got choked out, it was like, dude, you weren't great at this, but you weren't willing to continue to be bad at it to get good at it. And I
Hmm.
think that's a huge thing that I see in successful people that build brands or businesses is they're not afraid to try things and look bad because they know that they have to test things. Like again, I've heard you talk about, black belt. You're really good at what you do. Heel hooks come around, leg locks come. And I was
Hmm.
like, well, I got to try this a little bit, but now I'm not going to be a black belt at this at first, and my
Hmm.
ego's going to get checked a little bit. And you had such a great story of when you first started to do marketing and you started passing out DVDs to drunk people at UFC. You were like, man, tomorrow's the day. And it
Yeah,
fell
yeah.
flat on your face, but you didn't go,
Oh,
well,
that's a fun
marketing doesn't
story.
work. You went, I'm going
Yeah.
to find another way to market and find a way to make it work. So talk about going out there and like testing things and pivoting. And even when things work, they're not going to work forever. Like business branding, it's going to be a forever evolving process.
So the DVD story is funny. And this is like a good lesson in like just because someone else is doing it doesn't mean that it's working. Because you see a lot of that. There's a lot of like marketing incest where, people like look at someone else and they like, well, he looks like he's got it together. I'm going to do what he's doing. One, it may not be working for them. There's that possibility, right? A lot of times things can be shim-shammed around a little bit to put on a sort of a fake front. But also, two, what the reason that that person is successful may not be because of the thing that you're looking at, right? So you'll see someone come into a space where they get popular, and it's like all of a sudden the way that people are editing their videos or the way that they're doing their thumbnails, they're just like, I'm going to do what he's doing. It must be working. But you're like, that's only a part of what's making that thing successful. That's probably not the main thing that's moving the needle, right? Those are like the extra stuff. It's like when someone says, oh, what kind of camera are you using? It doesn't matter. I can record an iPhone video and it can be good content because my ability to express information is good. It's like someone get worried about the gi that they're going to get rather than like, hey, can you do the move? It's like the gi doesn't make the jiu-jitsu practitioner. Likewise, the suit or whatever doesn't make the business guy, right? Like you got to have the knowledge and the ability to do it. So the DVD story is funny though. So I was down in Nashville at the time. There was a UFC in Nashville. And there was a guy back in the day named Ed Clay. He had the biggest gym in Nashville back then, probably the biggest gym in Nashville like has ever had really. And he also had this company Gameness, which is a gi company, and he owned it. And they had this huge gym. It was like 70,000 square feet or something. And they had a big gym. They had a warehouse space in the back where they're shipping these gis out all over the place. And so when the UFC was going on, he had a tour bus that he had bought. And he has this tour bus running around town with like basically handing out CDs and flyers to people, and I'm like, this is so cool. He knows what he's doing, right? So then I'm thinking, okay, so then the UFC comes to Louisville about a year later, and me and my buddy Derek, my business partner, right, we were sitting there, we're like, all right, the UFC's coming to town. We gotta like take advantage of this because this is just going to be something we can do because these are people going into fight. They're going to want to learn more about this kind of stuff. So we came up with this sort of like idea. One of our guys was a videographer, so he comes in and does some videos of the gym. It's like this really cool, like highlight video with music, and it's like join our gym. Our gym's really cool, whatever, that kind of stuff. Super aggressive and intimidating looking. And then we put on a DVD, and then for whatever reason, we decide that it's a good idea, which is probably not the worst thing we thought about, was that we were going to, one of our buddies was in a fraternity and they had a good relationship with a sorority. And so we paid all these really attractive college women to like, they had a shirt that said free DVD. They all ended up cutting them up. So they're like little crop tops or whatever. They're like, so of course, like you get these guys, they're like, free DVD. Oh, what is it? So these women are running around handing out thousands of these DVDs, right? We get to the venue and we're just like watching all these women hand out these DVDs, and we see these guys looking at the DVDs and we're like, yes, this is it. Our phones are going to be ringing off the hook next week. Didn't work. Like, just didn't work. We spent, a few $1,000s in that. I don't know that we got any members from that. I don't remember anybody talking about it. Thinking back about it, it probably would have been ideal to have the DVDs given to them after they came out, because I'm sure a lot of them probably just ended up in the trash. You know, there's walking in, whatever, throws away, or lost or whatever. But even then, I don't think that it would have done, because we didn't really know what we were doing. It was like a cool highlight video, but there wasn't even like a good call to action on it. It wasn't like, hey, you should train at the gym now and we'll give you this special something or other, whatever. There was no good call to action. It was just like, we're really cool. Yeah. In the messaging in the DVD, there was nothing about how am I going to give you something you want. Right. And I think that's a big part of business, right? Everybody gets really obsessed with what they want, you know, and like you see this all the time in social media. It's like, look at me, look at me, look at me, this whole narcissistic thing versus what is this person that you're trying to communicate? What do they want? Because your job in a business is to help them get that, help them get what they want. And if you can do that, then like they'll be ready to give you what you want. Like it's like a coach. You go into a gym. I was telling one of my coaches about this the other day. When you walk into a jiu-jitsu gym or a boxing gym or whatever, the person coming in doesn't give a shit about you, right? They don't know who you are. They don't know about your accolades. Probably they don't care. They're there for themselves. Now, if you do good by them and you do your best job to help them achieve what they want, then they're going to care about you. Right. Like I have people that are incredibly loyal to me from my gym because they've been with me for almost 20 years at this point, you know, like, or, you know, not quite, but, you know, we're getting close to 2 decades. And so, you know, I've helped them do things that they've wanted to do, whether that was fight, lose weight, you know, achieve something, gain skill, whatever it is. And so like, yeah, like there's a good bond, there's a good relationship there of taking care of them. And so I think that's like a business thing, right? Like if we would have put a pamphlet or a deep something to go with it that was telling them, like finding out like, hey, who are we trying to serve? Who is the person that we're really trying to get out of this group of people? Because we don't want everybody. We just want the people that we can best take care of. And then how can we actually take care of them with our service? And how can we message that in the brochure, in the DVD, whatever it is, versus, ooh, hot women, you want this DVD. And then if you ever take the DVD home, it's basically just glorifying what we do versus actually getting you to do something. And so that was an idea. And again, we got better with the messaging later on, but in the beginning, we just didn't know anything.